Book your driving lesson now at dla-driving.co.uk. Sponsored by DLA Driving School.
Hello and welcome to Over in the Town. How are we all feeling after that one? Amazing night at Kenilworth Road, something we've not experienced for a long time, and probably the best atmosphere we've ever had at that stadium. What a result. What are we going to do next? We don't know, but we're going to hear to be talking about the game against Sunderland last night, the atmosphere, everything about last night. We cannot tell you how amazing it was. If he wasn't there, you'll be at the final, I know that. Yeah. Amazing. With us as this podcast special, we're doing it anyway, so Steve is with me as normal, and Batara. Lads, how are you? Have you recovered from last night yet?
No, still buzzing. Just walking around all day, sort of, Cheshire cat. Sort of big smile, big smile. Yeah.
Cheshire cat.
Oh, mate, it feels good.
The build-up to the game yesterday was intense anyway. It started off with that video released, and it just sort of started to create the atmosphere going forward. Before we got to the stadium, 2 beers, buy one, get one free beer. Well done, Luton Town.
Yeah.
Loved it. But could we have topped the atmosphere at the Watford game? And boy, did we do that last night.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I mean, just talking about the buy one, get one free, but, being the model person that I am, I asked the lady, could I get 1 pint and a Coke for my grandson? And she said the computer doesn't work that way. So I said, oh shucks, so I'm going to have 2 pints and 2 Cokes. And I said, but I'm telling you, I'm going to tell my wife that it's all your fault. So it was good. So yeah, buy one get one free was tremendous.
It started off quite well. When you link back to our previous pod on the Sunderland away game, and we felt on that day, we didn't do ourselves justice in the second half. We did what we expected last night, didn't we? We did what we thought we would do.
Yeah, and more, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, say the atmosphere was just intense from the start. As you say, I think the video helped sort of during the day, it sort of filled you full of pride.
Yeah.
Goosebumps. A lot of people sort of commented about it. So you're starting to sort of get the nerves going. I know my stomach was in knots all day. So, my boss, 10 to 5, he said, oh, for Christ's sake, Steve, just go, leave, go. Because I was pacing in the office, I was pacing.
Just get out of here.
So, got there. The atmosphere was really, really good, and we were on it. Apparently when the players went back in from warming up, they all said to each other and the manager, it's going to be a good one. Everyone's on it.
It was a cracking atmosphere, and I think Nick Ames, he writes for The Guardian, I think. He actually said, I've been to countless playoff games, but Luton versus Sunderland is as intense as it gets. Almost unbelievable tempo and raw, relentless atmosphere.
Yeah.
I've heard very few noises in the stadium quite like the utter I can't even say that word.
Pandemonium?
Pandemonium, thank you, around me in here. It was just loud. Do you know when we was at the Stadium of Light on Saturday, we all said that noise from 45,000 fans was intense.
Yeah.
But 9,000 of us made the same sort of noise.
Yeah, it was a different, but because of the surroundings and the intimacy of the ground, it was, just as volatile, and it was, just as sort of appealing to everyone. But what I noticed in the Kenny, otherwise known as the library now, people that don't normally get involved in any of the singing, nearly everyone was. Everyone was, even if it was just like the Come On Luton, there was so many more people joining in, and that just enhanced it.
You wouldn't have thought we was nervous last night. The noise that was created, from, like I said, even 15 minutes before kickoff, incredible.
Yeah.
You would have thought, going into a playoff second leg, being down, you'd have thought nervy times a little bit, maybe a bit subdued. But no, look. Incredible stuff, and
maybe it was just massive belief as well.
Yeah.
And you know, they said we need the fans to do their bit. I mean, my goodness, didn't we? But I just think that there was so much belief that we was going to turn it round. The early goal obviously helped, but I'm sure we'd have got there anyway. But yeah, I think the fans pretty much faultless, and you know, we may talk about it later, but if I can just talk about the moment in the 55th minute when Drame was sort of pressing their left back.
Yeah,
and
amazing.
You know, he sort of had him turning around and that, and then he got the ball off him, and that created a
and he
roar.
won a corner as well. Yeah.
Won a corner, and it was celebrated like a goal, and he was immediately, come on like that, and you know, say it was just relentless. You know, they had no escape. There was nowhere that they could look in the ground to think where they could get away from it, and I like to think that it helped towards the result.
At the weekend, Sunderland would have thought they'd come to Kenilworth Road and they had a good chance of putting a good display in. But they didn't really show much, did they? When we think about it, I don't want to use the phrase, but I'm going to anyways, because I do want to use it. It was sort of men against boys, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, to be fair, but look, you've got to credit us as well. I think people look at, obviously you watched it last night, I watched it again today, I think you did the same last night, didn't you? You watched the game back, and it was the desire, you know, like from the Saturday, it was almost like we lost every single second ball. Yesterday, we were winning every single second ball.
I think that the desire was there at Sunderland. You know, that is unquestionable. But
yeah,
I just think I just think on the day they probably got, you know, the ball just a little bit quicker and stuff like that. So, you know, absolutely no question at all about the desire. But, you know, maybe we were a bit more advanced last night because, they didn't have a lot. I mean, they ran with the ball well at times, but again,
didn't create very much, did they?
Didn't create an awful lot.
The first maybe 5-10 minutes, where I think Horvath made a great save from, was it Elijah, from the header, nearly off an own goal, I think it was.
Yeah. Was it that early?
Do you know what? I have to be honest with you. I lost all sense of time last night when I was watching that game.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that it was the Elijah, you know, just trying to get any goal. You know, he doesn't care. I mean, it was a great save, and then
potential handball.
He got drilled.
That was just after the goal we scored, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I mean, it drilled the cross to him. What was he? 2-3 yards away. His hand wasn't away from his body. It was down at his side. I'm sure, because again, VAR. I'm sure that would not have been overturned.
Right. So
I agree.
We don't know that, but it wasn't a penalty. So there you go.
Yeah.
Let's look at your 3 red reviews today. Then we've got just a few. Phil says best feeling ever. Match said speechless, mate. Speechless, but clearly not speechless because he replied. LTFC Dave, what an atmosphere. Mark, roof came off. Mike controlled the game. Greg, Lockyer, Osho, Horvath. Neil, intense, emotional, brilliant.
Yeah, that's good.
Tom, dare to dream. Kev, high blood pressure. Go get that sorted, Kev, because we've got another game to come. And Barney says the white one. K Syrah.
There was an awful lot that obviously we couldn't include in the podcast, you know, even if the spelling and grammar was correct in them. Thanks for Dwayne for his one. You know, that was good, but we couldn't use that.
Absolutely disgraceful. I'm sure your old man would like that, would he?
Let's talk about the game briefly and then a little bit more afterwards. You know, the team was unchanged. We all thought after Saturday that maybe Campbell would start. Was you worried about the fact that Clicker was in again?
No, not at all. I just thought that if there was going to be a change, that would be potentially one of the more likely ones. But unchanged, that's absolutely fine. It was no problem because then he was going to come on at some point, you know, and sort of release all his energy
as well.
Yep.
Clark had an immense game. Yeah. I mean, as soon as the teams came out, the noise was there. And Luton were up for it from the minute one, Bataro. You think about, we took the game to them straight away.
Like I said, I mean, it's hard to go back to Saturday. I don't want to talk about obviously too much, but it was very, very, I wouldn't say maybe polar opposite, but it was almost there. It was almost like, you know, like you said, about desire, but it wasn't like the desire wasn't there. Maybe Sunderland were a lot better, but we were just, like you say, first to everything, first ball, second ball. The midfield did their job. The midfield did not get bypassed once, I don't feel.
No, maybe as a team we were sort of 4 or 5 yards further up the pitch and that, but also someone commented during the day, Drame and Doughty, they were able to push their guys back, whereas we were being pushed back. They were able to push them back, which again, took a bit of pressure off, and we got more crosses in.
And the players they push back as well. Your Patrick Roberts and your Jack Clarks. These players are used to being in the final third, trying to, absolutely tearing teams apart. But they were forced back in their own half. These are wingers. These are forwards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that was one of the things that we really thought we missed a trick with at the away game, and that was sort of getting more crosses in. But what we certainly did this time, and but again, Lockyer and is it Gilhard?
Gilhard,
they locked horns immediately within the first 2 minutes, and then Lockyer, I think he almost broke
psychologically,
but then he tried to break the neck of is it Ahmad?
Trying to break the neck. What did he get him in a little?
Well, no, he sort of little tug of the arm, but apparently it gave him such violent whiplash.
Have you seen that? Have you seen? If you see the TV footage of that, the way that he rolls around in agony is unreal, and
hence a little chorus of "You are embarrassing."
Yes, well there you go.
What an idiot! Look, man, that's what happens when you try and cheat, though. So
I genuinely want to talk about the game in a little bit more detail in a moment, but something's just come to my mind, and it's really been bugging me since we've won. Is the amount of negativity about our style of play. But sorry, do you think that's fair that people look at us and think we're just hoofball?
No, that's not fair at all, because we have such varied style of play. We can play possession football if we want to. We can play, the wide crossing game if you want. We can play the route one football. We can do it a bit of everything, I'd say. I'm not saying we're Man City, you know what I'm saying, or whatever else, but we have got a bit of everything and anything in our armoury. So look, people that say we play hoofball, then they're probably people that don't watch Luton more than sort of once or twice a season.
Or maybe they're people that support a team that are really susceptible to a more direct, fast, physical approach. QPR away over Christmas. That wasn't hoofball. That was passing, controlled demolition of a side.
Do you think it's because rather than doing the pretty passes, we play the diagonals quite a lot?
Yeah, maybe, but...
Well, it's your strengths.
Yeah, you play to the strength, play to exploit the weaknesses of the opposition, and whatever. They couldn't cope with it. So how can you question the tactics?
And with all due respect as well, it doesn't take. Obviously, it's nothing against the management or whatever else and the coaching staff, but it doesn't take a genius to know that their back three are the shortest in the division.
Well, it was let's be fair to Sunderland. That was a temporary back three. They have
that's what I'm saying. But we have to attack. You have to attack them aerially.
You have to exploit.
Morris and Adebayo too. I'm not really funny, but I don't know. I don't watch all the players in the league, but they've got to be up there. Especially Morris, if not one of the best players in the league aerially.
I would imagine as a partnership, Adebayo and Morris have got to be one of the tallest partnerships in the division.
6'3" and 6'2" or something like that.
When opposition fans say we're a bit too direct, you're just using your strengths, really. You're playing to your strengths and also sussing out your opposition. Clearly, if you've got 7 foot, 6 foot people at the back or whatever.
What is too direct though? What is too direct?
Well, because there's a lot of people that say our football is not pretty. But I don't care. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that every week. I don't want to do this every week. They keep saying, and I look at our team and go, why wouldn't you want to come and see this?
Yeah,
play?
I totally disagree with it. I think that's complete nonsense.
Yeah,
hoofball, which is what was labelled earlier, that is a hopeful punt into a general area, up to up to whoever. It's just an aimless lump upfield. A long pass to someone in space is not. It's not direct. It's not hoofball.
Yes, of course. Do you know what? I'm going to quote something right now. I'm pretty sure it was Sean Dyche said this. The difference between a long ball, a long technically gifted pass, and a hoofball is a top 4 team or a big side. Because he said at the time, what's wrong with me playing diagonals and whatever else. If my players are good enough to win the ball, you play to your strengths kind of thing. But, the top 4 team did that, blah, 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 whatever else.
Yeah.
Then that's classed as, like, oh, what a great ball, a 60-yard pass. But that's the difference.
But again, they're totally wrong. We're not the only ones that got it right. Other people are wrong. But we see our boys every week, so we know that we're right. And at the end of the day, as I say, we can mix it up depending on who the opposition is. We have shown versatility throughout the season.
Yeah.
Talking about crosses and things like that, think about Clark's ball in for our first goal. This is where I got a bit lost in the evening, to be fair, because for me, it felt like we've been playing forever. And I didn't realise it was just 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It was very important to get that first goal last night. And Clark swinging the corner in. Lockyer found Osho. Well, what can I say? You say stab. He got his foot there real quick. And that net rippled from where I was standing, because I stand directly opposite where that was. I don't sit, boys. Where I was standing up, I just didn't see him hit it, but I saw the net ripple.
Oh, mate, fair play to him. It was great reactions, wasn't it?
It was. Again, I know Lockyer wasn't going to get his head hurt in that, but he still put his head, right in a melee of people, and it went down into the general area. It might have gone off Osho's thigh or something to present it in front of him, but he said himself he just stands around and hopes that it comes to him and sort of helps it on. So
a fair play to him as well.
But someone said about Pelly, very clever, because he stood in front of the keeper. So he would have had to have fouled. He would have had to have fouled Pelly to sort of advance, try and shut down any angle. And it's just really good. Opportunity was there, took it.
10 minutes in, the crowd are...
It's not a woof.
No, the roof came off. Shut up. The roof... I've been drinking.
At least it's not me this week getting it.
Thank you. Who'd have thought we've got Jonathan Ross here?
Well, anyway,
Okay, the roof came off Kenilworth Road and the atmosphere then went up a notch. And then we had another opportunity not so long after. But I want to talk about the whole... We talked about the penalty incidents, but can we say... almost for me, a proper world-class save from Horvath from that opportunity.
Brilliant save.
Yeah.
It was Adebayo, wasn't it?
It was Adebayo. There was no time to react. He really absolutely brilliant. But then when there was the alleged handball thing, he then had the presence of mind to pat it round the post. So I've not been critical of him during the season, but I've sort of waited for some of those critical wow moments to sort of justify it. We've seen a few of those now, so I'm absolutely delighted that he's with us. Yeah,
the pressure was intense all night, Batari, wasn't it? And there was a couple of more opportunities. A couple more opportunities we had. There was that microscopic goal line clearance. Really, it was right on the line.
Is that the one? Yeah, I think they even referred to goal line technology, didn't they, for that one as well?
Yeah,
it was not that it was needed, because let's face it, it was literally bang clean on
the line. But another opportunity came to us.
Yes, Luke 09. I think it was 09 for them, in the right place at the right time. And do you know what?
I think Elijah created that, didn't he, with the header, which then fell to Morris, who tried to sort of get the shot off and that.
I feel like was it Morris? Did he kind of slice at it a little bit? I know it's only reaction, isn't it? But
it wasn't a slice, he was going top corner. Yeah.
I can't remember, mate. I had a few beers at this point.
There was
Bataro in alcohol, shocker.
I don't drink.
There was a golden chance from Morris. There was a brilliant save from his his head by the goalkeeper.
That was the one that got me.
Yeah.
I was celebrating already, before it. And then all of a sudden I've seen Patterson fling himself across to the corner.
Is that the one he got?
Save with his forearm?
Yeah, it's like forearm.
Yeah.
But the good thing about that save was he actually, sort of patted it away from the area. Yeah. So, he had quite good presence of mind there to do that.
So you're getting towards the half-time break, I'm going to keep saying, I'll say I don't want to say it, but I do. The atmosphere was still there. The team was still pressing. We're still pushing forward. And Sunderland looked vulnerable. Most times we attacked, they looked vulnerable.
The first goal, obviously they were celebrating. The first chant from the crowd was, "Come on, Luton." So, that was it. Right, we're on to the next one. And I think it was Lockyer was immediately getting the ball. I think there was like a little wrestle, but it was get the ball back. It just send out a message to
everyone.
That's it. We're coming for you again, and we're going to come for you again and again.
It was, to be fair, right, if you look at it, it's so like it was from a neutral point of view. I felt they would have looked at it and gone, that's a brutal performance from Luton, because we were brutal. We, like you say, we never let up anything. No. It was constant pressure from minute 1 to minute 90. I don't even, like you say, even the last couple of minutes, we were on it. We were trying to score goals. I mean, you see a lot of teams sit there and go, right, lads, we've got 5-10 minutes left here. Let's be a bit cautious. No, we didn't. No. We thought, do you know what? Let's just go for it, and it worked the whole game through.
It's easier not to concede when the ball is at the other end.
Of course. Attack is the best form of defence, and it's true though. Yeah,
maybe that's something that's changed slightly with Robbie Edwards, because did we maybe sometimes before?
I'd say so. Yeah.
Try and sit back on a league. Maybe not.
Well, we was all hoping that what happened next would happen, and just before the second half, just before the end of the first half. The second goal came. Doughty, amazing ball in, beautiful. And Lockyer, I've listened to his post-match stuff, and he just said, I wanted to get there first. I want to get my head on it. I didn't know where it was going, and then I saw it hit the back of the net.
Beautiful.
I mean, how good was he to get to that ball, Steve?
Just no one else was going to get in the way of it. He would have just steamed through Morris and Adebayo to get it. It was a lovely pass from Drame back out to Doughty, who done that annoying roll over the top of the ball. But then a beautiful cross. It was just right in the mix. It was right in the mix.
It was
all of our players were significantly bigger and stronger. It could have been any of them, but I think that goal epitomises Lockyer for the last sort of 5 or 6 months. No one else was going to get to that ball.
No fear.
Yeah.
No fear at all in that boy.
He doesn't give himself a lot of credit. He said he just put his head in there. But, you see it. He was watching it on, and he just bullet header. And,
he's too humble. I think sometimes he needs to appreciate himself a bit more.
Yeah.
He really does, because this guy he's mustard, mate. He's top, and he is. He is just the heart of a warrior, and that's what you need. He is a leader. Like I say, leaders on the pitch. He's not the only one, but I tell you what, he sets an example, really, for the boys playing around him.
Pataro, is he up there for Player of the Season?
Well, of course he is. He got Player of the Season, didn't he?
Yeah, but I mean,
in our view, talking here and now,
100%. I mean, I can't believe that he couldn't get a game in the first sort of like 5-6 games, and it was sad to hear. To be fair to him, saying last week or whatever it was that he nearly left to get game time.
Yeah.
That's really, really sad, to be fair.
And when he left Charlton, they were saying that was a step down for him.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
This guy, like you say, we had a conversation earlier, didn't we, Dave? Like, was it with you? Oh no, it was my uncle. Sorry, it wasn't you. Apologies.
I'm not your uncle.
No. To be fair, you're both ugly. That's where I got confused. But no, sorry. But what I was saying was,
what has this turned into?
Sorry, I was just being rude.
We're just happy. I know.
No, of course. But no, what I'm saying with Lockyer is. I don't even know what I was going to say now, but one thing is, we all know this guy he just, like I say, epitomises Luton.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. He is, they're all, I'm not saying he's the only one, but they're all generals in their own way.
Yeah.
They are. They're top lads, they're top players, humble, and we haven't got any, what's the word, without being rude, people that walk around thinking they're like the top dogs. You know what I mean?
There's no weak links. There's no Billy Big Spuds and Lock.
Billy Big Spuds.
It's a well-known phrase. Yeah,
not in my house.
But we can say the other one if you want. But
Lockyer is just immense, and he's just grown and grown and grown throughout the season.
I don't think there's one player on our team last night that you could criticise for any reason whatsoever.
No, and I think that's why. I was thinking, are we going to go through the players? Because literally every single one. I mean, everyone just played to their maximum. And the energy. Again, workmate today, Tottenham fan. He said, I've just not seen a team work so hard like that. Yeah. And he said loved it.
The work rate was
beautiful to watch,
unbelievably intense last night. The second half, really, although that Sunderland had more possession than us, which I don't care about.
Yeah, but that's all along the back three, isn't it? That's irrelevant, to be fair. Yeah.
This is the thing about pretty football. You can go sideways, backwards, and not make any progress. We have 32% possession last night, and look what we did with it.
5 shots on target to their 1, was it? I believe. Yes.
They didn't sort of penetrate through the lines as much as you would expect from that level of possession, to be honest with you. And again, maybe we were sort of slightly tighter in midfield. Maybe there was less of a gap between midfield and defence. But, they had to go sideways often. They could, because they couldn't go forwards. So let them have the ball and do nothing with it. We'll have the ball a little bit. I mean, expected goal, 2.86, Dave.
Yeah, well, we don't like XGs, do we, Batara?
I have no idea what it is.
I'll do that conversation another time.
We'll phone Luke up another time and he explains to you.
Yeah.
When you think back to those last few minutes in the second half, because, a lot happened in the second half. I still think we was in control of the game. But then you get that little nervy thing 5 minutes from the end. If they score, then it's all square.
Yeah, it was just the one goal. That's the only reason that we were fearful. It was just that one goal. Could have been a deflection or anything, and you're back level, you're putting so much effort, and then suddenly you're going to be confronted with 30 minutes extra time. But, again, there was no real dramas there. And, just brilliant. And again, was it 94th, 95th minute with the drama thing? Three people were making a 60, 70-yard run. I mean... Well,
there's the thing, right? Because... that would have been icing on the cake, wouldn't it? With defending from a corner, ball goes out, Drame's running there. They've got 2 attackers going with him. 1 square pass, open goal, 3-1, icing on the cake.
I'm sorry, but even without a square pass, he's got to do better than that. He's got to score. I mean, look, like I say, it's no criticism, but this is the one thing I would say. Please, next time if you have an opportunity like that, just put it away. I don't care if you're 3-0 up. Just take the pressure off us.
Yeah, it would have been.
Let's be fair. If that was Wembley Stadium, we would have been absolutely crapping ourselves.
Yeah. I mean that would have been a perfect end to the game. But again, since Cody's turned up in January, he's been nothing short of sensational. Again, and he's bought into the whole Luton ethos. Just absolutely brilliantly.
He works his absolute socks off, doesn't he?
We will allow him that because I think he was disappointed
for the
as
final,
well.
That's what it is. He's saving himself for a 30-yard screamer in the final. That's what it is.
The final whistle went pandemonium. Yeah, I remember how to say that word. It was the best feeling I've had for a long, long, long time. Now, us oldies would have had that feeling, in '88 and everything else. But for a lot of the young people, this is their first experience of us having such an amazing tie to look forward to.
Yeah.
I think, who's the guy on Freakouts? I just forgot his name.
Simon Oxley?
No, the other one. Is it Oxley? It's Oxley.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he said this is probably going to be the most important game Luton Town have ever played.
Yeah, it was Simon Oxley, yeah.
There are, sorry about that, Simon, didn't mean to forget your name.
It's old, you see, that's what it is.
There are older people that would say it's a big game, but maybe, the Man City result was important because we had 10 years in the first division. And so, but this really is so important for the potential money that this club will get.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to bring forward all the projects to being paid up 5 years earlier. It's going to give them the ability to accelerate sort of other projects, maybe with academy, upgrades to that, things that they want to do with the youth
team as well.
Yeah, I'm not aware of that, to be honest with you, mate. But I know that they want to do work with the academy so they can improve the level of the status that is. It just brings forward all these plans so much more, and we would still be within our financial limits. They're not going to do anything stupid, but again. Maybe we shouldn't be preempting things too much, but
let's not.
It's going to be spent wisely.
If we progress from this position, there's an opportunity that a lot of new supporters will come to us, and I think that's the main thing. So, an unbelievable result last night, an unbelievable performance, unbelievable atmosphere. We asked you guys, what was the main reason you think we got the win yesterday, and if you can pick one, who was your standout player? So before we go to your comments, Batara, what do you think?
Oh. Well, what do I think of the win yesterday?
If you're talking the mic, we can hear you.
Sorry. What was the main reason we got the win? A togetherness, a team spirit, a team ethic. Everything about it was just team. It wasn't like individual. A lot, like you say, a lot of... I'm going back to, I see a lot of like, hatred towards Luton yesterday on Twitter come from like, a few Forest fans, etc., bigger teams supposedly, and whatever. Because they have individuals. We have a team. That's the difference. But picking one player, I can't pick one player. There was, for me, standout player is everyone in that team. Who would you, can you think of one? I can't, no.
No.
I can sit there and say maybe certain players were slightly better than others, but I feel like it's unfair on never.
Well, no, I think you could talk about every single individual player and come up with 2 or 3 excellent things that they contributed towards the game. Ignoring the amount of miles they must have run. Yeah. And also at a high intensity. It wasn't them just covering space and that. Everything was done with such aggression and intensity. So, the whole team.
Like you say, you can't really pick anyone out. But all I will say is, like we go back to it, Lockyer. He showed, I think he was the first player to maybe get into an altercation and have a few little personal battles with that Hart, whatever his name is.
Well, you talk about after the whistle went, there was a tussle with him, isn't there?
Yes, but what I'm saying is with him, like you can maybe say Lockyer set the tone then for everyone else to look at him and go, do you know what?
Yeah.
That's how we've got to do it, boys.
Yeah.
It's leadership, but look, like I said, everyone was a leader in their own way yesterday. Everyone done a job. Fantastic. You can't individualise people, but immense all round.
When you look back at this game, because you will look back at it, no matter what happens in the final, we'll look back at this night tonight and think it's probably one of the best experiences we've ever had at Kenilworth Road.
Yeah. It was just undoubtedly one of the classics where off the pitch, on the pitch, it was just you couldn't have asked it for it to have been better. You really couldn't, and it was absolutely exhausting. It was absolutely exhausting because everyone put in the whole amount of effort that they had, but what a reward, total justification, and everyone must be just absolutely buzzing.
Do you know what? Just for a second there, Steve, I thought he was going to cry.
No,
you sounded very emotional.
It was just magic though, wasn't it? And it's nice when you get your just desserts, because so many times you don't get your just desserts, and you then sort of have all the bigger teams with their individuals going, crap football, hoofball, and
Tin Pot Club.
It's
always the one. Tin Pot Club. That ground's not good enough for the Premier League. It's tiny, whatever else. But
boring and tedious.
But then you look back to your Guardian man, and he describes that atmosphere as one of the best he's ever been in, and he's probably been to some of the biggest stadiums in the country and in the world, maybe. We did ask you what was the main reason you think we got the win yesterday, and if you could pick one, who was your standout player? Kieran said, standout for me wasn't even the player because they were all incredible. It was the fans. It says a lot when the Kenny end is all stood up, singing, getting behind the team. Everyone made themselves heard last night, and I couldn't be prouder of us all.
Yeah.
Steve says, I thought Bell was superb. Lockyer was great as always, but Bell deserves so much credit. The crowd were amazing. Lewis says, the main reason was the players. You saw they were dead on their feet, but still running and putting in tackles. The crowd definitely helped that, though. It was raucous in the Kenny. That makes a change. You said it was a library before, Steve. A bit left field, but Horvath, he commanded so well last night and gave confidence to everyone and pulled off a cracking save also. James, I'd say either Pelly or Doughty as standout players. Doughty's crossing was testing their defence every time, and Pelly had so much aggression and motivation, which was clear in the way that he was tackling and protecting the ball in the corner. Excellent from the whole team. We've got the thing here, and we feel the whole team were phenomenal, especially Edwards for being brave enough to stick with the same starting 11. The standout for me was Alfie, an immense performance. So much running and physicality, but measured passing, delivering into the final third. I still can't really believe we've done it. And Paul...
You better believe.
Paul says, the best team spirit in the country, bar none. That coupled with talented, pacey and powerful squad has been absolutely devastating for the rest of the Championship. Teams haven't been able to live with us. Sunderland got absolutely bad last night.
Yeah, that's a thing that I want to say. They did get absolutely battered, didn't they, last night? It's nice to say that as well.
And just at the point is, he'd be basically saying that if he didn't have that worldy free kick in the first game, it would have been a comfortable 2 legs in our opinion.
On James's comment as well, just one incident right towards the end. Remember a few weeks ago, Luke Berry came on and done that defensive cameo, and he done that backward sort of slide-in tackle. Well, Pelly done one just outside the penalty area, 91, 92 minutes maybe, and it was an absolute cruncher. And again, psychologically, none of them were given an inch. And again, it just epitomises it. And it must just give them all just a tiny bit more energy when they see commitment like that. But that was a crunching tackle at a really important time.
I am the most excited I've been for a long, long time watching Luton. And I've watched them for a long time, I'll tell you that. For me, this is up there. The trip to Wembley, we'll be talking about that on the next podcast. But it's only a week away. It's not that far, is it?
No, it isn't. And it isn't. And in a way, it'll be good when the game's out of the way, because this morning I heard my grandson saying, Google, show me Luton souvenirs. So he thinks that he's going to cash in on this and, get a load of things bought for him. He's going, I need this bucket hat for Wembley. I've got to get a flag in case it's cold to put around me. So he's already looking to spend my money. So we need this game out of the way quickly.
He's got you there. He's got you.
Yeah.
You know he has.
So we're all looking forward to Wembley. At the time of recording the podcast, we don't know who we're playing. But, hopefully, whoever we're playing, we give them a good game. Everyone, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We're all in the same place. We're all waiting to get to Wembley Stadium. We will be doing a pre-game podcast special, and we hope we can get some extra people in on that one.
And well done to everyone last night.
Unbelievable, everyone. It makes you proud to be a Hatter, doesn't it?
But about to say the same thing. Exactly. Pride, everything is, amazing.
The whole club, and listen, let's be fair. I do before we do leave. Actually, let's be fair to the board. 2020 said they'd do this.
Yeah, they did. And Gary Sweet got the Championship CEO of the Year award today,
and so he should.
Wow.
So he should.
Fair play.
So he should.
Yeah.
But we just want to go one more game, please.
Yeah.
Just one more game. We'll be talking about the one more game very, very soon. We don't want to preempt anything more. We'll know who we're playing by the end of this evening. If you're listening to this tomorrow morning, you'll already know who we're playing. We'll do a pre-Wembley podcast. We might do some extras. We don't know yet. But thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Please do leave your comments below. And you know what? What a night for the Hatters that was.
We've got super opulent.